good men and true.
Yea, or else it were fitting that they should suffer salvation by your sword.
Nay, that's for a punishment too good.
Only what their charge.
First, who will serve as an actor?
You, Odie King, sir, or George Steeple, were they right?
Come hither, Nick Seagull. God hath blessed you with a good name. Be well driven man to seek the fortune. The right breed. Come to my name.
Spoke with Master Constable.
You have. I knew it would be your answer. But for your favor, I give God thanks to make a vote. And for your right good reading, I let that appear when there is no need for such man. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man for constable. Therefore, that is the answer. This is your job. You shall comprehend all favor men. You forbid to any man stand in the prince's name.
Oh, he will not stand.
And take no notice, but let it go. At present, we call the rest of the watch together and be happy or with a name.
You will not stand with these bidden on the prince's subjects.
True, and you shall meddle with none but the prince's subjects. Also, you shall make no noise in this tonight, or the watch battle in the talk is intolerable and not forgiving.
We will rather sleep than talk. We know what belongs to the watch.
You sound like an ancient and most quiet watchman. Right myself, sleeping should have been only time to get your ability stolen. But you must call all the houses and bid those that are drunk to get them to bed.
How if they will not?
Let them those are there sober. And if they make not a better answer, then you may say they are not men.
Well, sir.
If you do speak to a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man. And for such kind of men, for that the less you meddle or make with them, the more is your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think they that touch pitch shall be defied. The most peaceful way to you is you do great steal. So let him show himself what he is, and steal like it.
Always become a principal man, Sergeant.
Truly, by my throat, I am a merciful man.
If you hear a child cry at night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still live.
How will the listeners speak and will not hear us?
Well, then depart in peace and let the child wake her with crying. But you that will not hear its loud when it fades, never hear it happen and please.
Tis very true.
This is the end of your job. You, constable, represent the prince's own person. You can meet the prince tonight, you may say,
Nay, my lady, I think all cannot.
5 shillings to one ounce, any man that knows the statutes, he may say, marry not without the prince be willing, or watch out to spend no hand, and it is in offense. Say that against it.
Nay, my lady, I think it be so.
Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Well, good night. If there be any way matter of good chances, call up me.
Well, masters, we hear our charge. Set us to your bundle upon the church bench till this, then all to bed.
One more word, Henderson. I really want to simulate out of door, for the wedding being there tomorrow, there is great toil tonight. As you be vigilant.
What, Conrad? Conrad, I said,
Here, man, I am at thy elbow.
yes, my elbow itch. I thought there were scabs all over.
I will owe thee an answer for that. Now continue with thy tale.
Stand thee close, then, under this man's house, where it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee. Now know Don John and I have earned 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
Thou shouldst rather ask if ever possible any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Thou knowest that the fashion of a doublet, or a hat, or a cloak is nothing to a man.
Yes, it is apparel.
I mean the fashion.
Yes, the fashion.
of fashion.
Tush! I may as well say the fool's a fool. But seest thou not what a form feat this fashion is? Seest thou not, I say, what the form feat this fashion is? How give thee a turn to the hot blood between 14 and 5 and 30, sometimes fashioning them like girls, soldiers in the Ricci painting, sometimes like the shade of Hercules, the old smirched Bornean tapestry, with a cod piecing does Massey as his club?
All this I see. I see that the fashion wears out war apparel in the man. But art thou thyself not giddy with the fashion, that thou hast shifted out of thy tale and telling me of this fashion?
Not so, neither. But know that I have 2 knights, whom Margaret, the lady hero of the gentleman, by the name of Hero, she means now in this chamber window, bid me 1,000 times good night. I tell this no while. I should first tell thee how the prince and Claudio and my master planted in place and possessed by my master Don John saw far off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought they Margaret was hero?
2 of them, Prince and Claudia. The devil, my master, knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oaths which first possessed them, partly by the dark night which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy which did confirm any slander Don John had made. Away with Claudio, enraged, swore he would meet her, as was appointed next morning at the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw overnight and send her home again without a husband.
I know that. In charge of the prince's name, stand.
Call up the great master constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of luxury that has ever known his opponent well.
Master, master,